Welcome back everybody to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. So right here, I want to show you guys play of the day. And this is not the only thing that I bought, but I did share this early in the morning. I mean, you can see, it's 9:18 a.m. Apple's calls at opening 210 strike. And guess what, guys? Apple's still near 210. Got in at 197, and this thing rallied back up to 210 plus, and this was a massive trade. Now you will say like, okay, this is your calls, what about puts you're talking about here? And yes, Apple puts, we actually held through a lot of pain on Apple. And look at today, guys. Apple, I'm gonna go back and you'll see right here, and you can see Apple puts, I've been adding and holding my position and not really going anywhere. 190 puts, and even this one came back from dead, and this thing paid a lot of money. So all these trade ideas, and I'm only sharing like these two right here. We actually had puts that we actually sold this morning, and then right here daily trade ideas, that is actually just a day trade idea. That was a swing trade I showed you guys on puts, and the calls went through the roof. So all these trade ideas, and especially if you're serious about trading, guys, this is it right here. Check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And you guys saw that play, fantastic play on Apple stock. This was once in a lifetime opportunity on a day trade. You don't get these dips every day, especially on big names like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia. This thing was down. Look at this, guys. When market opened, it was 199. By the time I got my order filled on Apple stock, it was trading already at 197. So the order I actually put out, market order, got filled for less. And this thing, 210 calls. Look at the high for the day, almost near 214. So this was one of the best trade. That is why we need those dips in the market. So Apple bounced, made a lot of money, and you guys can also go on my X account. You will see a post how much money I actually made, and people that are on my Patreon group buying calls, and even that people actually had puts. Those were dead, down 60%, and came back to life and going over 100%. So Apple was a fantastic play both ways. We swung, we got paid on this day right here on this dip, and also picked up the dip right at opening. Did call it out before opening that I'm going in here on Apple. 210 calls, and things went in the money, way over the money, and now trading Apple right here at 209. So yes, it's holding 207, guys. So again, Apple, what happened here? Well, we basically got a retest of that weekly breakout around 198. We got slightly under that level, but look at the bounce. Came back up over 207. So until 207 gives up, I actually sold all my puts completely out of Apple today, locked in profit both ways, and then I picked up actually calls, and that is what I meant by both ways, selling everything out and not really having any positions here on Apple stock, because we do have this head and shoulder pattern. Now 207 gives up, we might be coming back to retest 198 to 200, and underneath that level we'll see 190 on Apple stock. To the upside, 207 can hold. We might be going back up to retrace 50 SMA on this daily time frame like it did today at 213, and over that level we might be coming all the way back up to close this gap near 218 on Apple. On Microsoft, is down 3.27%, and look at this pump right now. It's up 1%, trading near 400. So that is why when you see big names like Microsoft, Apple trading well below lower Bollinger Band, that is the dip that you need. That is the dip that you want, especially for a day trade, a good opportunity like today. And look at this bounce, guys, from where? Look at this support level that I had before, 384, and this thing went back up to 400 plus, and now even right now trading at almost 400. So here on Microsoft, Watch out, as long as Microsoft can break and hold 400, we might see a move up to 404.34 to close this gap, and over this gap, this thing can go all the way up to 413. Now underneath 400 or maybe even at 404, we might set up a lower high, and if this is actually where to play out, we might see a dump underneath 390. If that happens, again, Microsoft can come back and retest 384, maybe even retesting 380 to 375. On Amazon, stock is down 4%, so Amazon came all the way down to 150. Not quite touching 150, but we got the bounce, and now trading over 160 right here. So Amazon holding 160. I mean, this thing is disconnected from lower Bollinger Band, which is sitting at 167. So yes, it's getting really oversold. We might see a bounce. I mean, that is a big move from 201 down to almost 150. That is a $50 move to the downside on a big name like Amazon. So Amazon now, there will be support at 160, 155, 150, and to the upside, strong resistance here at 167, and over that level we might see Amazon going up to 173, and then we can talk about possibly filling this entire gap later on. On Google, stock is down 4.61%, so Google also coming down and filling this gap finally, and now it's trading over 155 and barely holding 160 into closing, pretty much retracing lower Bollinger Band. So we do have a gap at 166.39. Over 160, there is a possibility Google can come up and fill this gap at 166.39. And if this thing can hold right here, then watch out for a move up to 170 right here to close this gap. And then we can talk about more upside, but not right now because this thing on a strong downtrend. Underneath 160, watch out for the support 155 and then 148 all the way down to this gap 144.34. On Meta, it's down 2.54%, so nothing big, but look at this drop to 450. Critical support right here 452, and look at the bounce. I mean, that is a $26 bounce, and now trading near 480. So who knows, guys? I mean, a lot of people are talking about crash, fear and greed index. It's that extreme fear, you know, Warren Buffett selling, and people are like, wow, why he's selling? I mean, who cares? I mean, he's selling, so what? He's just not, you know, that one guy who holds the market and he got the money. Nobody else got money. He's not the only guy who has money and he's just holding some Apple shares. I mean, who cares whatever he's doing? This might be it. And if this is it, guess what? You missed out today, right? So that is why you always need to look into it and do your own research before looking into like X, and people are calling black swan and crash and all that crap, because look how much money you missed out on because this morning you panicked like, oh, crash is here. Let's just get out. Open the door. Let me go. You know, I'm not buying anything. And next thing you know, market recovered, and especially on a big name like Meta. Look at this move. I mean, insane move. That is a huge move. $30 move to the upside, back up immediately within just couple hours. Calls, weekly calls went through the roof. So now, Meta, as long as we're above 452, it's still within that, you know, range where this thing can go back up. And now it's holding 470, so that is even more better. Watch out for a move up to this 20-day moving average, 485, and then 490. 490 breaks, this will look like Meta finding a bottom and this thing going back up to the upside again. Now, also keep that in mind, just because we got a bounce today, I'm not saying we're super bullish and things will just fly from here. I'm giving you guys a possibility of a bottom here. It can happen, you know, you cannot deny that. But if this thing takes out, that is how you get out. If this thing takes out 452 and pretty much takes out this low down here around 442, in that case, definitely it's coming down and coming down to close this gap right here at 400. On Tesla, stock is down 4.23%. So Tesla, just like I said last night, anything under 200, huge buying opportunity. And guess what, guys? Rinse and repeat. So I sold my shares, locked in profit after holding about 5 months, and now I'm back in the game. Tesla under 200, pretty much picked up right here around 185, and that position is right now fully green on my position. And even if this thing comes down, I'm not even putting a stop. And why? Because I would like to buy even more. So Tesla here over 200, watch out for a move up to 206 to close this gap and possibly even retest 212. Under 200, we might be coming back again down to 183, and if that gives up, there might be more downside down to 169, 167, and maybe even down to this gap just below 152 at 147.26. So Tesla, in my view, if you actually caught this dip, like I said last night, you're already making about $15 per share on Tesla. On AMD, it's up 1.75%. So despite the selling everywhere, AMD was up, and look at this move down to 122, guys. 122. We talked about it in my video over the weekend, and from there, this thing took off exactly up to 138, got slightly above 138, got a rejection, now trading at 135. So AMD breaks right here, 138. We could see a move up to 143.28. 13 SMA up to 148, and then this gap 153.80. Still not bullish, but look at this, we got a bullish engulfing candle. So you gotta give where credit is due, where this thing is producing a bullish engulfing candle. And now if this thing gets over 138, there will be more upside, and this is probably a bottom on AMD for now. Now to the downside, there will be support at 125, 122, 118, and then 110. So Netflix also going down 2.46%, and a lot of people I saw actually chasing Netflix, and I have no interest, absolutely no interest buying Netflix near 600. Last time I bought, it was right here, guys, right here on this dip, and then they had earnings and my shares went flying. So if this is actually like 350 or slightly below 350, yeah, yes, I'm interested, but who the heck is buying Netflix at 600? Definitely, I mean, it's still near all-time highs. I'm not gonna buy this dip. But you can see this thing came down to 587. Support at 588, got a bounce, went back up, and now it's trading under 604. So that's gonna be a critical resistance to watch for tomorrow. Over that level, watch out for this gap at 608. And if this thing can pass all that, Netflix can move up to retest negative sloping 5-day moving average 617.59, and then we can talk about possibly even retesting 630. Now, as long as this thing trades under 604, there is a chance it will come back down to 588, and if that gives up, watch out for more dump off. And this one has a huge gap down here at 498, so just be careful buying this thing near 600. Underneath 588, there will be a dump off down to 564, and from there this thing can go much lower. This gap can come into play just like Google and Meta and all the other ones that I've been talking about in my video. On Nvidia, stock is down 6.36%. So Nvidia, the perfect dip, picked up today near the lows, and that position is green by a couple $100 right now. And what's unfortunate that whenever you try to help people, it actually backfires. Yesterday, somebody said in the comment section, I was making things up on Nvidia. They're so blindly bullish, and they love the CEO that they think I was making things up, and they must be in on Nvidia maybe at 130, 140. They don't like to see the stock coming down, so that is the case. Or they just totally ignore the fact that Nvidia is still up, trading over $1,000. And now with the split over 100. So, if you're so bullish on Nvidia, then, just wait, let it go back up on an uptrend, and then you can buy at 140. And I know somebody who was actually buying 200 calls, and we saw what we saw today, guys, under 100, near $90. So you can do the math. If I'm wrong, why would I buy here? And if I'm right, why is the stock dropping, right? I did call this out for many months that Nvidia will likely to come down. It's just a matter of time. Monthly, weekly, extremely quarterly overbought. And what's happening? Nothing but a decent correction. It's not a crash. And now you're saying that it's not true and all that. Well, good luck with being really bullish on Nvidia. Super bullish, totally fine. You can buy at a higher price. I don't mind that. But I'm not the guy who's gonna be buying at 140. I'll be selling there, right? So Nvidia, you can see it's holding 98. We do have support at 96. Now, if this thing breaks 107, that is when party can start right here on Nvidia stock, and this thing can push back up to 118 again. Under 107, yes, we got a green candle. I mean, even though we're down on the day, if this thing cannot push over 107, we might see a dump off back down to 98, down to 96, and if that gives up, there will be significant downside on Nvidia stock from there. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching.